The Trump administration is suing our state board of elections. The Justice Department filed a federal lawsuit accusing the board of violating federal law by not requiring some information on voter registration records. The 2002 Help America Vote Act requires people registering to vote to provide a driver's license number or the last four digits of a social security number. If the person doesn't have either, the state must then assign them a number.
The North Carolina Board of Elections acknowledged the voter registration form did not make that requirement clear back in 2023. Now, it did update the form, but didn't contact those who had registered in the last 20 years and were missing those numbers. Instead, the state board said people would be asked for that information at the polling sites when they tried to vote. The Justice Department wants a judge to force the board to come up with a plan to contact those voters missing the numbers within the next 30 days.
We want to bring in our chief legal analyst, Khalif Rhodes. Khalif, where does this stand there? Because they are fighting this, defending their procedures in violation, saying they were in compliance with this. So how does it all work out here?
I mean, first of all, you need to figure out how to get in compliance. Jason, you talked about it, Alita, in 20 years of not being in compliance. 2004 is when this went into effect. 2024 is when they recognize, hey, we got an issue, we need to fix it, and they tried. I mean, it had implications that didn't just affect, hypothetical situations, but it affected, that's the real scenario. The GOP candidate that went for state Supreme Court made the same allegation. But if I was in court, if I was arguing this, if you make an answer and then I attempt to ask you the same question again, I'd object to say asked and answered. This has already been asked and answered. It's went through every court that you can have. I mean, it went through all of our state courts. It went through the federal court. It went back to state court, and this very question was asked and answered multiple times when the courts have acknowledged that the Board of Elections did make a misstep by not having it on the application. However, they've done the necessary things to be compliant, specifically making sure that folks, when they go to vote, will already have made this step process. So if I go and show up to the location to vote, and I don't have one of these two documents, my identification number, with a driver's license, or my last four of my social, they'll give me this unique number, and then that's the issue has been resolved at that moment. What the GOP is asking and what the Trump administration is asking is go ahead and fix those folks right now. So they could easily go in there and just add a identifying number to the people that are on the rolls, but I don't think that's a good logical step because these folks didn't have an opportunity to provide it at the time because the form didn't require it. So what they are saying is let's give them an opportunity to fix it when they get to the polls instead of us going in there and randomly assigning numbers, because that won't really help you figure out this situation that you're saying is there, which is voter fraud.
Could this affect future voter eligibility or issues for this group of people that don't have those certain registration numbers?
I think the court's already addressed that. These people have voted. They voted. I mean, I would assume that these people have voted the last 20 years. And if they have voted the last 20 years, now you can't say, well, you voted before, but because it doesn't comply, we're not going to allow you to vote now. Once they get to the polls, they'll be able to cure that issue by providing a driver's license number or their last four digits. And if they don't have either one, they can at that moment give them this made up fake number. So either one of them fixes the issue. This is more double downing on the creating hysteria when there's really no issue here. When you make the allegations that there's widespread voter fraud and you have no supporting data to support it, you have to go out there and find these types of issues. And this is one like that. This is a clear issue that the form did not correctly state what was required by the federal government. They've made the recommendation and said, you know what, we figured this out, we fixed our form, now moving forward, how do we fix this situation so that the voters, as they go forward, can comply with the law. But what the GOP is asking is fix the folks that have already went through this system. The response from the Board of Elections, they've already done that, and in their process. If you look at the complaint, the biggest word that should stick out to both of you guys is promptly. They don't want them to fix it. They want them to fix it promptly, like right now. The GOP's response is, I don't want you to take your time and wait till folks come to vote to fix it in real time. I want you to go back within 30 days, contact these folks, give them an opportunity to come into the place, and even though there's no election, and provide that information. And then on the other hand, if they don't provide that information, then remove them from the voter rolls. I think that portion will be illegal and unlawful because these folks have already voted and have at some point signed up and used a form that at the time was what was required by the state. So I don't know how you can remove these folks, and that's what the courts have said in probably 6 different hearings so far.
And they've already removed 750,000 of them when they went through the whole entire thing between Allison Riggs and Jefferson Griffin going through. Those voters also had to go ahead and verify they are who they say they were in order to vote there. So, Khalif, is this something where a judge is going to get it and say, we're good, or is this going to kind of travel down the path that we've seen a lot of these court cases going, where it should be open and shut but it's going to get hung up.
It's definitely going down the yellow brick road. It's going to get down that road at some point where it will go to this U.S. District Court judge. And that's what I think ultimately, because this case has already touched every court you can think of on the state and federal, it will probably do the exact same thing. A judge isn't going to say they've already asked and answered this. What they will say is they've stated a claim. I'll have to address this, and the other side will have to respond. And then at some point they'll go back and forth, and it'll be a ping pong. But ultimately, I think what happens is that the state tries to figure out a way to get it done, because now the tides have shifted. The GOP now is in control of the State Board of Elections. I think they may move faster than the previous administration did, because it was a 3-2 majority on the Democratic side. Now it's a 3-2 majority on the Republican side. I think they will at least respond faster, prompter than they have done in the past.
Man, here we go. All right, the Ferris wheel continues to go around on some of these cases that we're dealing with. Khalif, thanks. I appreciate that.